The Square Ball Podcast.
Welcome to the show, brought to you with Levi Solicitors. 10% discount on your legal fees. levisolicitors.co.uk/the Square Ball. Dan, Michael and Rob with you. Previewing Watford now then in part 2. Big game this weekend, isn't it?
Yes, let's win it.
Great. That's the plan.
End of programme.
Watford are not very good, but suddenly people have built them up to be this outstanding team in their mind. That's how the fear of a football fan always works, isn't it? Like I saw them against X and they'll cause us problems doing Y.
Yeah, I mean, the Hodgson factor, it feels like he might be able to get him out of trouble just because he's done it a load of times before in a way that you didn't necessarily feel earlier in the season they were gonna. I guess he maybe gives them a better chance, but there's no consistency to their appointments at Watford. It's very much a scattergun of like, well, who's out there, fine, get him. Whereas like with Marsh, at least there was a thought behind it, and obviously he'd been earmarked in advance, and they thought the styles might mesh in some ways, even though there's some distinct differences. But the pressing and stuff, getting Hodgson is very much just like
There's no long-term plan there, is there? Let's get this 70-odd-year-old bloke to managers.
And he really does look old. I saw him on Match of the Day on the weekend. He looks really, really old.
Yeah, because occasionally that happens, doesn't it? You'll see someone, you'll go, God, he's aged. Even from last week. Yeah, he does. And you imagine there's not going to be too many jobs left in him after this one. He's not going to fancy it. I mean,
I thought he'd retired already.
Yeah, I thought that was the point of him leaving Palace, to this big fanfare of, he's left his boyhood club, or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a heavyweight boxer. They just never retire. They just always come back for one more go. But, I guess fair play to him. He obviously loves football, doesn't he? He just can't resist it.
So we do have some games in the lead up to this that will, as you said in part 1 there, we'll have a much clearer idea of what's going on at the bottom. Burnley-Everton is on Wednesday night. Newcastle Wolves is on Friday night. Then Everton face Man United on Saturday lunchtime, which I'm sure they'll object to, or Frank will anyway, having been forced to play on Wednesday as well. It's not good enough, is it? Not good enough. Then we play Watford, obviously, Norwich Burnley on Sunday at 2:00. So this weekend is probably going to be the defining weekend of the season.
I thought it was last weekend.
Well, I think each one that comes along is very much the defining weekend. But a win against Watford, and we're nearly there.
Yeah,
it's the loss to Watford that causes problems.
It'd probably put us out of Watford's reach. Would a win in this one? Would it?
Well, what are we, 8 points in front of them at the minute?
Yes, they've got 8 points in front, but they've got a game in hand on us as well. But yeah, it would create a lovely bit of distance.
So that would then put us 11 points. So you're talking about 4 wins from the remaining 7 or 8 games, which you just don't.
They're not going to win 4 games, are they?
You wouldn't have thought so. I feel like they struggle to win 4 in a season, don't they? In their little Premier League stints, they tend to come up and go back down fairly, not as quickly as Norwich, admittedly, but they don't always hang around for very long, do they? So yeah, we should win.
And again, depending on what happens in the other games, a draw's fine, probably.
Yeah, a draw probably is fine, actually, just so they don't get any closer to us. It'll be interesting to see how this one goes tactically, because Watford are not a team that particularly like having the ball. And Marsh has said that some of our best opportunities will come from them having the ball. So whether or not we'll have to literally give it to them,
keep pumping it upfield and then winning it back.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how this one goes. I think it'll be quite different to the games we've had so far.
How do they tend to play? Is Hodgson's football is it all counter-attacking? Is it
just defensive,
sit deep,
well organised, banks of 4, hard to break down, score on the break from set pieces?
I mean, I am worried by WhoScored.com and in their section on Watford's style of play. It says play with width, which we don't. But then on their weaknesses, one of their weaknesses is defending against attacks down the wing, which we don't do. So
maybe we'll start doing it. I don't think he's averse to using wide areas, is he, Marsh? But sees the route through us through the middle. It's just interesting to see how we vary it up if we can't get through the middle, if it is too compact in there.
There was a moment against Southampton where all 22 players on the pitch were stood within the width of a penalty area, and that was when Leeds were pressing for a goal, and you just thought, just stand in the space.
Go over there, lads.
One of you.
There's loads of it.
Aye. You play Calvin?
Probably, yeah.
I think this is the game we need to play him in.
I think he came through unscathed the other day, didn't he? He looked sharp enough, I thought.
He's dead good.
He is dead good.
I mean, he really is dead good. I mean, if only through the prism of that pass that he pinged out to the right wing to Ayling, which was brilliant.
I mean, he did say I didn't really do anything, but that pass, I mean, it made it onto Leeds' TikTok channel.
But it's just it's little things like just being in the midfield, and he's a dominant physical presence as well. He was getting in there,
I was going to say,
competing and winning headers, and like just getting amongst it.
Just for the muscle he brings in midfield, I think it makes a difference. And his range of passing as well. He's as good as I think Forshaw and Click have been in there sometimes. None of them can spray the balls that Calvin can.
Who do you play? Do you play Click in midfield and push Rodrigo further forward, do you think?
I think he would be tempted to drop Click.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll go Forshaw Calvin if he plays, and then with a more attacking option and Click on the bench.
Yeah,
keep it solid, I reckon, in this one.
And it would be nice to have a central midfielder to bring off the bench that isn't half fit as well.
Luxury.
And Click has been good recently.
He has, yeah.
It's been nice. People have been nice about him again, apart from Bob. And Forshaw's been good as well. But yeah, to have actual options on the bench is a nice thing. I'd maybe like to see Koch start ahead of Llorente as well, who has been a little bit mad for a while now. I mean, he's always mad. Even when he plays well, he's mad. But
it's a low key mad, isn't it? It's not always on the surface, but it's never too far away.
I think him and Strike recently have been kind of terrible, so I wouldn't mind seeing Cooper and Koch.
Yeah, okay.
I kind of fancy he will leave the defence as it is, probably. But
yeah,
which I'm also fine with. But yeah, I know what you mean about Llorente. He's just he's a bit of a worrying character sometimes.
Yeah, and that was the thing about slowing it down with Mellier's distribution. He would slow it down and then give the ball to Llorente, who had 11 men running at him, and he would just panic. So
get away. Yeah.
You need to calm it down. Give it to me.
Do you think
I'll show you what panic looks like.
Do you think we'll maybe exercise a little bit more caution in this game, or will we just go out and try and win it?
I think we are cautious now under Marsh.
Are we?
That's our new style, isn't
100 to 70.
Exactly. I mean, look at the Norwich game when we were playing the worst team in the league at home, a goal up, we bring on a defender. I think it's probably a given that we'll be fairly cautious.
That's the other thing with Marsh wanting 5 subs to bring on attackers with energy, and then all his subs recently have kind of been bring centre backs on. I know at Wolves that was
no choice.
Yeah, he couldn't really help that.
Yeah. How do you think it goes? I always find it quite hard to call like this early in the week. You know, by the time we get around to the Phil Hayes show on doing it on a Thursday afternoon,
you're normally brimming with confidence.
I've always got because I've properly processed the previous weekend's game, and then I look at this one and think, we'll be all right. But what do you reckon?
Draw.
You think draw just to drag the agony out?
Just to drag it out. A 1-1. We'll be in the lead. They'll equalise. Everyone will be sad about it.
I feel like that's a good shout, not through any sense of logic, just for dragging it out. I feel like that's how this season is destined.
I guess the Wolves win was the one exception to it, wasn't it, this season, where you thought, actually, we've put together 2 results in a row there. That's remarkable. I didn't know we were allowed to do that anymore.
Which part of me, in that weird way you try and make bargains with yourself, logical bargains, I thought, well, because we've drawn against Southampton, that kind of gets the slight dip out of the way. So now we can go back to winning again, because there's no way we would have won 4 on the bounce, because that sort of runs completely counter to the whole season. Do you know what I mean?
Is that the way dips work?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I'm just trying to find a way to logically have it so that I think, I can go into this with confidence and think we're going to win, because we dropped points.
I know what you mean. 4 wins in a row would have been
preposterous.
Excessive.
Yeah.
Matthew, that's excessive.
Yeah. So
was it Matthew?
Yeah, it was Matthew.
It was Matthew, yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'll always, veer on the side of optimism and say, I think we win this.
Yeah, go on then.
I'll take my 1-0. I'll take my 1-0 and everyone else getting 0 or 1 point down there. But that's fine.
But you think it's going to be a slightly uncomfortable. We go in front, optimism up, concede 1.
Yeah, I think it's just the way we seem to be going. We seem to get, because against Southampton we were the better team and then went ahead and shat ourselves. And against Norwich, even though they were completely useless, we managed to let them score as well.
I think this is where we lay down the Marsh marker, and it's a comfortable 3-0.
The Marsh marker. Sons of bitches all over that pitch.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like we're overdue a comfortable win. And this is the game I would quite happily take it. I don't know about you.
What bit of 3-2 at Wolves wasn't comfortable?
Well, we dicked these earlier on in the season.
They are probably the worst team we played this year. Them and Norwich, I guess, which the league table is doing a good job, isn't it? It's reflecting well where the bad teams are.
I think it was Adam Forshaw was in commentary for LUTV in the home game, and he was just laughing at Watford for a lot of it, for how crap they were. So that won't come back to bite him.
I mean, that was 2 managers ago, though, wasn't it? I think.
Is that right? It was Cisco, wasn't it? It was their manager, because he got sacked just after that.
Yeah, and then they had Ranieri for a bit, and now they've got.
Of course they did, yeah.
So
Ranieri this season.
That was this season, wasn't it? It was.
It always
pretty sure it was.
Was he at Fulham last season? I can't remember now.
Yeah.
That's insane, isn't it?
They do 3 managers a season. They get promoted with like 3 managers a season to Watford.
Yeah.
They generally make it quite successful. It's weird.
I'd completely forgot Ranieri. So that's blowing my mind.
Yeah, oh wow. Okay, let's see how it pans out then, and just get this godforsaken season over with. It's all very tiring, isn't it? It's all very tiring. Part 2 done and dusted, end of the show. On to part 3 next in the playlist. Heroes and villains, we're going to pick those next.
The Square Ball Podcast.